Simple, they haven't replaced you yet?
Watch yourself.
Okay. I should have said that afterwards. Well, as always, the blatant optimism of Husker basketball is here to stay, and we're excited about our team. I really like this team's togetherness. I like our size, quickness, length. There's a lot of things to like about them. There's some things that concern me, obviously, going into the year that we got to get organized with offensive execution, defensive errors. I think we've made some schematic changes to try and defend better. We've had, 2 years in a row where we were a top 25 team in the country defensively, and last year that slipped. We were better offensively last year. But with Andrew White transferring and then two leaders like Siobhan Shields and Benny Parker going, you lost a lot of leadership and a lot of scoring. So obviously we have to replace that with some young people. As maybe, 7 of our top 9 guys are going to be newcomers or freshmen and sophomores. So, but I like the talent and I like where we're going. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Do you have status updates going forward with
Isaiah the injuries? Yeah, so Anton Gill, I would say, is a couple weeks out from practicing, and Isaiah might be a month out from practicing. The actual injuries were Anton had a procedure done on his knee that is more difficult than I can explain, but basically it's a preventative measure to take care of some chronic tendonitis, if you can do that. I don't know if that's medically possible, but that's the way I read it. And Isaiah had complained about a sore hip for months before he even got here. We found out that was a stress reaction in his pelvis area, which is obviously a huge bone, and it takes a long time to heal, and the only way to heal it is by not doing anything, which drives him crazy. But yesterday, I'm proud to report, they actually looked like he was blushing. He did enough of a workout, whereas his complexion went from, a little rosy, actually. I congratulate him on that. Big moment. Well, I know that, I'm confident that Anton will be ready. He's kind of a grumpy guy right now. I mean, if you talk to him, he's just a growly guy. And Isaiah, when he was practicing, even injured, was, I thought one of our better players out there. I really think his future is bright. So I don't know when he'll be ready, but I don't care. I'm going to put him out there anyway. I mean, healthy, all right?
Why is Gil growly?
Because he can't practice. I mean, he's a competitor. He wants to get out there. He came here to be able to make an impact and not sit and watch.
When you look at your front court, obviously you finally got your center. How much do you think you'll be able to count on Jordy right away?
I think so. Yeah, I think we can go to Jordy right away. Well, I'm going to go to him. He's going to have to prove to me he can't do it. And I believe in him. You really fall in love with the kid once you meet him. He's an infectious personality. It's always great to have a big kid that's, like that. A lot of kids are quiet, shy, whatever it might be, and Jordy is not that if you've met him. And so I think what's really exciting about a guy like Jordy is that, one, he's got skill and ability. He just needs to pick up some nuances of the game. Second of all, as you look at him, he's got the attitude that truly craves improvement. Like, he wants to get better every day. And when I say that, that's evident. He'll come and ask questions all the time, and not just dumb ones. Really thoughtful questions. And I think that's where you see his learning curve is going to be good. He's relatively inexperienced because he's only played for 5 years. But at the same time, I think he's been well groomed so far by his prep school coaches, and he's an eager learner. That really helps.
Will you bring him along slowly, or we throw him right in?
He's going to play. Yeah, I didn't recruit him to do anything slow. I think that when you look at things, that one, he wants that challenge, and two, I trust him.
But there might be bumps too. They might.
Oh yeah, they're freshmen. And I've coached. I think they did a study a few years back that I play more freshmen than even Calipari or some of these guys. A study, Dan Hanner, I think, or somebody did it. And first of all, that surprised me. But then it didn't surprise me because we played, since making the Division I transfer, really we played freshmen like crazy from North Dakota State to CSU. Because once I think that we took the transfers to try and, inject some energy, and that did happen. And then, then we had a bad year, and then we started over, and those freshmen played, and now we're going to be freshmen and sophomores playing, and that team's just going to grow and develop and get better and better, and we're doing it in one of the most difficult leagues in the world, So you're asking a lot of them, but what a good problem to have, if that doesn't fire you up, nothing will.
You seeing Jordy condition-wise able to play 25 minutes a night?
I don't, really fouls is what I'm worried about, but part of that is learning how to play in stance and be ready all the time. What a lot of young kids don't get is when you feel you're most comfortable, you're the most vulnerable, on defense. That's about the time you're going to get screened or something bad's going to happen where you've got to be ready. And it's easy to be ready when you're right there on the ball or helping with a screen and roll or your guy's got the ball. But, that mental readiness, instead of resting, he's got to be able to play. So I have no idea how many minutes he'll play, but as long as he's productive, he's going to play. And as long as he's not in foul trouble, he's going to play.
What's the plan at point guard behind Glenn?
I like Ty, first of all, and I'm not so sure I won't move Ty around 1, 2, and 3. I'm not sure I won't move Glenn to some 2. But also I think Glenn is one of our best playmakers. He can get by you without a ball screen. He can get by you with the ball screen. He can get by you in transition. He can get by you. So, he's a kid that can score it. Ty's a guy that can really initiate it, play some power guard. And so it might be, advantageous for us to play them at 1 and 2. And Evan Taylor, I'm not so sure, can't play some point guard. And Evan is really shown to be a fast player with excellent defensive instincts. And when we put he and Ty on the floor, it's 2 long, strong, athletic kids. He and Glenn and Ty, those are 3 really fast guys. So I think I like our guard options, although they are thin. And they're especially thin since Roby can play a wing and Anton can play 2. And we're out there in practice, and I'm ready to bring Farouk Manesh back.
How valuable was the offseason gains Michael Jacobson made compared to where he was?
Well, yeah, just in confidence, his ability to add 19 pounds of muscle, not just 19 pounds. I mean, he really added power, strength. And I think when you look at that, that tells you a lot about his work ethic and what he wants to do. He knew he wasn't going to play as much center, yet he still went to work in the weight room. Glenn Watson did. Ed Murrow might be our most powerful guy on the floor. When you see him, he'll power through Jordy on a regular basis, and that's no easy task. So I just really like the gains Tim Wilson has had with those guys. We changed a couple of things with our weight training meeting in the offseason to see if we could get more gains. We did. We made a couple of schematic changes defensively to see if we could take away some things on the perimeter better than we did last year. And I like both changes so far.
And look, just finally being healthy.
Really strong. I mean, he finished, we stat every workout and every practice, and his numbers are the best numbers on the team. And he finishes a lot of plays. He rebounds well. He's on the offensive glass. He is the toughest guy in the gym. He really is. And that's why at the end of last year, I started telling him, just be the toughest guy on the floor. Just be the and he really made a nice surge as he got healthier. And I think that this year you'll see him build on that.
How do you see Jariah Horn fitting in? High school, he played a lot more inside. But
yeah, you look at him and you see out here he's a perimeter guy. Like, there's no way he's playing inside with these guys. Jariah's got great skill. He shoots it. He passes it well. He's competitive like crazy. Like, he'll go get just beat on defense or whatever, and you're like, oh, that kid. And just come down and absolutely make a 3, somebody's climbing all over him. And, he's got that heart of a competitor, which is what we fell in love with in AAU basketball and his high school team too. And as he just learns to guard, and he's changed his body, but his condition is not where it should be, that'll get better. I think, again, some of these guys are going to play right away, and some of these guys you're going to see their role grow as time wears on.
Tim, when you have this young of a roster, is it important early to get a starting 5 and then fill roles, or does it matter at that point? You mind rolling it some?
I think you got to roll it some because you don't want to put a ceiling on somebody that hasn't earned that yet. Like I know what I'm going to get out of Ty Webster. I think I finally know, and Ty realizes the differences between international basketball. Even made a point of it that there's 2 different games that doesn't exist. That I want to be a good college player, and so I think you know what you're going to get with a guy like Ty. I don't know what Isaiah Roby's going to do or Jariah Horn. I'm not sure. I've got a pretty good idea what our sophomores are going to do. But, for instance, can Jack McVay play the wing or not play the wing? Do I make him just a pick-and-pop four-man and just slide him in only that role? Or do I allow us with more length, and can he guard a 3? Can he do all the things that it takes? I think I got to give that a look, and I certainly will in practice and most likely some games too. The problem with the young team is our schedule. It's a elephant. And, I mean, we built it thinking this was going to be our strongest, most complete team. It was when we put it together. Now we're minus some outside shooting. So, it might not be as, it was still going to be a huge challenge, but, there might be a bigger mountain to climb. But here's the thing about basketball is you go in thinking one thing, and oftentimes what you think in October is not what you are in January. That doesn't mean we can't get it done. A schedule like this provides tremendous opportunity, and there's teams out there every year I laugh about that, you'll see coaches say, I didn't know if we get 8th in the league, and they get 2nd in the league. And you could say the same about the Huskers in 2014, that nobody thought we were going to be anything. We were picked 12th, and we got 4th and made the NCAA. You just never know how it's going to come together. And then the next year we had one fall apart, and so it can go both directions. But what I'm excited about with this team is we seem as on the same page as any team we've had. So, when you win your locker room, I think you got a chance to win on the floor.
Tim, why is that? Why do you feel like everybody's so cohesive right now, especially considering?
I think there's some things that have happened that maybe, it's hard to explain exactly what's happened. At least I'm not going to. But where the guys kind of feel like, well, that's kind of a slight, that's an insult, and they put a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. And we bring in a guy like Evan Taylor, who's just a consummate team guy. He's just a fun guy to play with. And so I think the younger guys get it a little more. And then the freshman group we brought in is really you look at the personalities of Roby, Horn, and Jordy, and they fit in terrifically. So I just think that a lot of those things are the thing that I asked them what they wanted our team motto to be, and I think most of them said, like, us always. I said, pick a motto. I didn't give them any options of any kind. And I think it was us always or together was probably 3/4 of the votes. One of them I thought was great. It was Jack McVay. He said, win. And I said, that's a hell of an idea, Jack. And he said, well, a lot of times we talk about the process. I have no idea what you mean. Let's win the day. Let's win practice. Let's win the game. And I think we'll all be happy. And you're probably right. A lot of times you talk about things that these guys don't. I had a kid tell me last year that was one of our freshmen. It didn't occur to him till halfway through the conference year that not everybody makes the NCAA tournament. Like everybody in the high school makes the state tournament. Just didn't occur to him. So this year I sat down with the freshmen. I said, name the teams in the Big Ten. And, well, Jordy wasn't with us yet, but the two guys looked at me and I said, we'll just start with Nebraska. We know, let's just start easy, and then work out from there. But it was amazing that, we had one kid that, quite frankly, didn't know there were 10 teams in the Big 12 or 14 in the Big 10. So, and he's from the middle of both. So it's kind of interesting. What you shouldn't assume, right?
The Andrew White thing you're talking about, a chip on the shoulder.
I don't know if that is that specifically. I think is maybe some of the trickle down from that though could be. But just kind of it's been a little bit of one thing after another. So, but our guys, what they are like, you're with us or you're against us, and I like that about them. That didn't come from me. That's what I like about it. I'm the only sucker out there. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And they're like, screw that. Let's go. And it's a good group. And that's usually when they have their, that ownership. I think that's when you've got your best team. So I expect this team will exceed expectations.
Tim, what are expectations?
Well, I have a standard, and it's go to the NCAA and win when we get there. That'll never change. You guys are the ones that set a lot of the standards, so let's see how it goes. I'll read about it tomorrow. Right, and I'll watch it. I'll DVR it tonight.
How much do you think Michael will be able to play some more of the 4 with Jordy out there? I mean, he's still got a lot of minutes at the 5 you have to handle.
Yeah, and I think Ed can be in there too, and Michael's going to get a crack at the starting 4. He and McVeigh and both Isaiah Roby, if he ever can get out there, will have a chance at like Jack, all that mix of guys I really like, and so Michael will certainly have the chance to play 4. But you can only play what you can guard. You can only play what you can be effective to, and so Michael's got some work ahead of him that way. But there's nobody knows that more than Mike, and there's nobody more excited about the challenge more than Michael. Seamus kind of gave me the hook twice, so if there's any other questions, you better ask now. Like when I got rolling real good, and he's like, all right, thank you.